My name's James Chamberlain. I teach history and I'm head of politics at Harvey Grammar School.
My name is Mrs. Davis and I am the sixth form manager.
My name is Kirsty Middleton and I teach film studies and English.
My name is Philip Moore and I teach chemistry and science.
My dream was to be a fireman, policeman, something to do with the Blue Light Brigade. That's kind of my that was kind of my niche.
Then I wanted to be a volcanologist, went to university and studied geography, which would be a really cool job, so much cooler than this job. But then I realised that you've got to be the best of the best to be a volcanologist because there are basically no jobs out there.
Well, I wanted to be something to do with history initially. I was quite interested in archaeology or being an archivist or something like that. But I wasn't very clear about it. I didn't have a real fixed ambition. To be honest, I always thought I'd be, a housewife, to be honest. I thought I'd have lots of kids and that I'd, be focused on them mainly, but that never happened, so here I am.
I always wanted to be an airline pilot, and probably my maths wasn't quite good enough. But I was, I remember a teacher at school saying, "Well, you might not be able to do it for a living, but hopefully you might be able to save up some money and do it privately," kind of thing, which I did. So I'm pleased because it was always my dream to do it, and about 20 years ago now, I went over to America for a month and in one of the summer holidays and just spent weeks over there learning to fly and got my pilot's license and loved it. I had 10 years of flying and absolutely loved it. So,
when I left school, I didn't like school, weirdly enough. I liked primary school, but I hated secondary school. I changed secondary school to do my A-levels and I quite liked it there. But from year 7 to year 11, I really, really didn't like it. And I always said I would never be a teacher, whatever else I was. And I think I've ended up in it by kind of partly drifting into it and partly, the quality of careers advice we got was pretty much non-existent. So initially I was going to do a history degree. I did Celtic Studies Aberdeen for a couple of months, but I was very homesick and I packed the course in, which I shouldn't have done really, and then I had to start again. And because I was worried about messing up, I chose to do English because I knew I was good at it and I knew I wouldn't have to work too hard to achieve in it. And unfortunately, that was what I did. And
did you regret that?
Yeah, I really do.
There are moments in teaching that are obviously really hard and there are moments that are fantastic, but there are also moments where you feel really connected to the people that you teach, both in terms of the boys at Harvey Grammar, but also the school. And I feel a real connection to both of those areas here. The boys that I teach, the school that I work at, I absolutely love and adore and want to help them succeed and want to invest in them because they invest in me. And I never wake up on a Monday morning dreading coming to school.
He said to me, Phil, you probably, you get on well with young people. You probably wouldn't, be awful as a teacher, and I thought, well, okay, it's not a bad idea. I enjoy my science and I've always enjoyed setting light to things and generally blowing them up. So, I thought, right, okay, I'll look into that, which I did. And I got managed to get on a course at Bath University in the September, so I could finish work. It was amazingly lucky. I literally finished work. I was there, I was one of the few people left. Finished that, got the money, and then the following month started on the course for teaching. So I got my PGCE in Bath, at Bath Spa University, hence the lanyard. And then,
I would say it's better to regret having done something than having not done something. Because most of my regrets are, I wish I'd done this, I wish I'd done that. And I have hardly any regrets of I wish I hadn't done this, or I wish I hadn't done that. And I think that shows how I've lived my life, really. And I think you've got to be willing to sort of take risks, and that's what I would say.
Wow. Okay. What would I say to the whole year? I would say never stop chasing your dreams, even if they seem unrealistic at times. They change over the course of your life, and the dream that you have now won't necessarily be the dream that you have at 35, 36, won't necessarily be the dream that you have at 70 or 80. Never stop learning. Be reflective, because you don't always get things right. Okay? Own up when you get things wrong. Be honest and open, and be the best version of yourself. Because if you're the best version of yourself all the time, and that's a tough ask, all right? It is a real tough ask. There'll be days where you can't be the best version of yourself. But if you can be the best version of yourself the majority of the time, you won't go too far wrong.
Be kind. Kindness is just the best thing. Like, it's so much more valuable than working hard. It's just like just a lovely quality to have. So yeah, just be kind.
I think the piece of advice I would give to you is be confident in not just what you're doing, but yourself. Yeah. Because you are a bloody able guy. Okay? You've got a huge future, you are a massive talent, and you've got a lot to give. Life's not easy, right? And you know that from where you've come from. And there'll be lots of twists and turns along the way. But don't give up. Be honest with yourself, but also understand that you are an incredible talent and you've got lots to give. Whatever you end up doing, whether it's something to do with film and journalism, whether it's something to do with HR, or whether it's to do with marketing, or whether it's just working at Sainsbury's or Border Force, give it your all.
I think you have to just, first of all, do what you're passionate about. Don't compromise too much, because I think that's one of the things that I've done, and the things I regret are generally involved in me not, and take risks, be willing to take risks. I mean, from your perspective, you're very, you're very enthusiastic, and you're very interested in lots of things, and that's something that I hope you never lose. But also, you're very kind, and that's a quality I admire in anybody. And I think that's a quality that I hope, again, doesn't get too dented by going through real life, because it is quite easy to lose those sorts of qualities.
But a bit like me, I suppose, learning to fly for my my kind of passion. I would say if you really if you want something, if you're really interested in something, it can happen. You can make it happen, but it's you that makes it happen. It doesn't happen by chance. You make it. You make those chances happen. You do create your own luck, and I think that's absolutely true. So I mean, if you want to go on to do film and what have you, it'll happen. It will happen. It might take time. It might take a lot of hard work and persistence and all sorts of things, and also learning to know the right people and things like that. As life is sometimes, but you'll get there if you will get there if you want it badly enough.
I wouldn't be here.
You don't want to be here?
No, I do want to be here, but I don't think I would be here. 10 years' time, I'd like to be starting my journey as a head teacher somewhere.
Do you think you can do it here?
No. I need to broaden my horizons. I'd like to be a deputy head here, but I think for me, in order to achieve personal growth, I think my future lies away from the school. Whether that is at a comp Because if you think about it, right, I've been teaching 13 years. I've had 2 years in a comprehensive. The rest of the time's been at a boys' grammar school.
Yeah, so it's quite niche.
Yeah, and it's comfortable, and it's lovely, and it's enjoyable, and it's relatively easy, right? Not many teachers get to play football against students at Christmas, and then again during the 6-a-side tournament. You know, I get to play cricket with staff and students. I get to go on amazing school trip. Like, the experience that you have here is completely different to somewhere else.
Yeah, I suppose it's a bit less challenging in terms of.
It still has challenges, but the challenges are different. So I think personally, for my own growth, and don't forget, I mean, I am confident in where I could be, and I would like to go up the ranks, deputy head, executive head, because I think that's where I could actually have an impact then.
Hold on, how old is that? Right, okay. That makes me mid-30s. Right, where will I be? I wouldn't be disappointed if I was still here. I could be a grandparent.
Yeah, I suppose Eli could be.
What would I like to be
Yeah, where would you like
in
to
10
be
years? I would like to be living in a remote part of Scotland or Ireland, in a really beautiful place, lots of wonderful scenery and, you know, wildlife and all this sort of thing, and you know, maybe writing or something, but I can't really see
Why not? Why not?
because I'm going to have to work until I die probably. So yeah, that's unless I win the lottery, which is obviously extremely unlikely. I'm afraid I'll probably still be.
Oh God, what am I? 54. So I'd be 64. I'd probably, you know, I don't know. I would hope by 65 maybe I will have left. I don't know. It's funny. That's a really interesting question because it's a kind of tough one in a way. You know, if I'm still enjoying the teaching, I'd still like to be doing it. Really, to be honest, I've got to, you know, it might not be 4 days a week. It might be 3 days a week or something like that. I might be just like gradually. Yeah, exactly. You know. I would still, you know, it's like I like my motorbikes, and I'm, you know, off on my motorbike round Europe in a few weeks' time when we finish and break up, off to Germany and France and what have you. And I really like that. So I would like to be able to. I've been very lucky in as much as I've had like several different passions, kind of thing, and I've been able to do all of them to some extent, you know. So I don't know if there'll be another one, or, you know, maybe I'll find that after all this running, painting or something, or my knees don't work anymore, so I'll take up Crown Green bowls or something. You know what I mean? I'll be down at the bowls club or something, you know.
How organised are you?
Terribly.
Right, organisation.
Terribly organised.
Yeah, like all those people that you're going to meet, how are you going to keep their details?
Yeah, that's true. Just
Yeah.
making sure I'm on it.
Yeah,
I need to be more. What's the word?
you need LinkedIn.
You do
You need
LinkedIn.
to get LinkedIn and then like feed everything into it, feed all your contacts into it, post what you're doing, and like organise your professional self somewhere like that.
I think in terms of film, I think you need to be more flexible sometimes in your approach. I think you get an idea in your head and then it's very difficult to budget. Luckily, the idea about kidnapping children didn't come to anything. We managed to talk you out of that one. But
I forgot about that.
yeah, I think you need to be a bit more flexible in your approach. That's the only thing, because you're very, you know, you are very driven, but sometimes, stubborn. I think sometimes about things where.
I think my favourite memory that I have of you is you arriving at this school when you were year 7, in fact year 6 transition, and you were this kind of ball of energy. But the one thing I remember about you, with your blonde floppy hair, was that you had massive amounts of hope, and there's a lovely little bit of innocence that I think that you've not lost, which is lovely. Having that having that ability to relate to people, and we've always had a great relationship. You've never been a lad who's been in trouble.
No,
I don't think I've ever had to speak to you on that front. But you've always been someone who has been a lovely ambassador for Endeavour House. Was Mrs. Turnbull here, or was it Mr. Castle? Mr. Castle's room. Yeah. So, it was your just innocence and personality and a ball of energy and loveliness, and you always used to pop into the office and say hi, and you were never afraid of speaking, because some people were scared of me. You were never scared of that, which was lovely.
Say it's just actually you were always really, really friendly, a really friendly young man, and and polite and kind to other people, and just really, really lovely and a pleasure to teach.
Well, the whole of the sixth form, I have to say, watching the film, especially the Batman stuff, you coming to open evening at a time when we had no takers for GCSE film studies the previous year, or only a few, and then all it took was you turning up in your Batman costume, and then we had loads, and it's the first time for a while that we've had 2 consecutive years where we've got. So that was brilliant. But I mean, there are so many, good memories. The film you made with the Year 7s when you came into work experience, that was really good. All the stuff you did with Campbell and Ellie and Rachel was always very entertaining.
Thank you to Mr. Chamberlain, Mrs. Middleton, Mrs. Davis, and Mr. Moore for taking part in this interview.
Do you regret not following the firefighter path, or?
To be honest, I think I would have been a crap firefighter.
You're a good six-month manager, though.
Yeah,
that is good.
Fate has played its hands. I mean, I'm not strong. I'm not brave. I would have been crap.
Find something that you love to do. Find something that isn't a chore to do, because it makes you're at work a long time, and it makes it a lot more worthwhile.
If I make you miss, I'll buy you a house in Scotland.
Okay, that's a deal then.
Good deal.